Oh, hey, you. Did you miss any football over the weekend? Well, guess what? We have a Snaps game recap made just for you. Enjoy. Vanderbilt, Alabama. Vandy with their first ever win over a top 5 AP team in school history. They were 0-60 in such situations previously, whereas I think Bama was like 60-3 as the number one team going against unranked teams. A wild day and then night in Nashville as those goalposts have made their way around town. I'm T-Bob Baker. He's Aaron Murray. Aaron, what's up, dog? How we doing today?
Dude, and you didn't even mention two games. Michigan goes down, USC goes down to Minnesota.
Yes.
It was as chaotic of a weekend of college football. Unfortunately, I was so exhausted from just the entire day and rewatching some games last night. I didn't even watch the Miami game. I woke up this morning in 39-38 and seeing the box scores on the stats. So I have to go back and watch that one today. But going back and seeing, rewatching the Alabama game and then the Missouri game, and then obviously got to see the Tennessee Arkansas game live last night, some of the other ones. It was as good of a weekend as we could have asked for. And we were all kind of looking ahead till next weekend because next weekend's like the sexy slate. But like you said, it never disappoints, man. So excited to be here breaking it all down for everyone, and appreciate everyone joining us this Sunday morning.
All right, so obviously we'll start with Vanderbilt and Alabama. It starts off, Vandy's offense goes out and scores. Like, oh, okay, you got to see a Pavia. That's kind of interesting. But then the next thing you know, tipped ball, Vandy gets a pick six, and it's 13-0. But at this point, Aaron, it's still kind of fun. We're tweeting out jokes. I'm like, hey, Alabama, why don't you go ahead and let Vandy win? Y'all are still going to make the playoffs. It'd be great for them, blah, blah, blah. It didn't feel real. And then, of course, Alabama scores, makes it 13-7. And this is probably the first of like 4 or 5 moments where I thought, okay, here it comes. Okay, this is where Alabama takes back over. The offense is too good. The defense is too good. The talent gap is too large. And this is where you just have to really credit this Vanderbilt football team. Every time it felt like Alabama was finally going to steal back the momentum, Jordan Pavia and that Vanderbilt offense would just find ways of extending drives and keeping a stranglehold on the game. And the defense made enough plays. I mean, mainly the strip sack at the end to kind of kill any of Bama's last hopes, which again, Pavia and the offense had to come through with the touchdown. Aaron, what is the most shocking part of this game to you in terms of how it played out?
Well, first off, I got to give massive credits to Tim Beck, the offensive coordinator for Vanderbilt. I mean, what he did yesterday, keeping Alabama off balance. Obviously, Diego is a stud. I think, to me, like, player of the weekend in college football.
Diego Pavia, my bad.
Yeah. Diego Pavia is the guy of the weekend. He is someone. I mean, even the after the game speech with Alyssa Lang was absolutely incredible. But Tim Beck, keeping Alabama and all that speed off balance to the point where they weren't sure where they were going.
Yeah.
And Vanderbilt at times, not even at times, I'd say for the majority of the game, was the more physical team. Like, I did not have that on my bingo card that Vanderbilt football offensively was going to be the more physical team between their offense and Alabama's defense. Like, we think Alabama, we think defense, we think Nick Saban, we think of just how dominant and all the 5 stars. But Vandy put it to him. And I think it was because of Tim Beck and the offense of just having those guys on that side of the football 1 second too slow and trying to play catch up. And then the way Diego plays the quarterback position is just so much fun to watch. To have 42 minutes of possession time to 17 minutes of possession time is really unheard of. That is a triple option. That is a triple option offense, an Air Force Navy type game that Alabama just faced right there. And it's still crazy too. Alabama had 35 points, only having the ball for 17 minutes.
That's the point, right? That shows how it's now the second week in a row in which we see that classic old, is it an idiom? Whatever, that classic old saying, sometimes your best defense is a good offense, like a ball control offense. How did Kentucky affect that win over Ole Miss? They were able to put a complete stranglehold on that game, and the time possession there was 40-20. How do you stop an Alabama team that, again, in 17 minutes dropped 35 points? Well, you limit their opportunities. And the key to that, Aaron, and this goes back to what you were talking about with the offense, the key to that is third down.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt finishes 12 of 18 on third down. And it's because of exactly what you said. Creative play calling, staying on schedule, creating third and manageables. You never knew what Pavia was he going to keep it? Was it an option? Was it an option with a shovel underneath? They were killing him.
But he
on that
also made some
pass.
pretty badass throws. He made some badass throws, like especially in the fourth quarter, like when you like kept saying like, okay, Alabama scored, made it a one possession game.
Yep.
They're gonna get a 3 and out. You know, Vandy's gonna like try and play too conservative, and then Diego would make some plays on the run with unique arm angles. You're like, that's a Vanderbilt quarterback making Heisman moment plays against Alabama in crunch time. Absolutely incredible.
He had the great back shoulder throw, I think, on the final touchdown drive to get them down there. But the throw of the game to me and the play of the game is the 4th and 1, right? Yeah. And that was the moment when you're all of a sudden like, oh shit, okay, now okay, maybe Alabama isn't actually going to win this game. Where it's 4th and 1, they get a lot of, again, sideways action going. I think he fakes like a jet sweep, and you think he's going to do what they've been doing all game, and he's just going to dump it off the flats. He resets. He goes deep, seeing that he has his guy, and he gets fucking lit up from 2 different angles, standing strong, knowing he's about to get smoked. And and great on the receiver, bro, because it was on the fingertips, and he finds a way to pull in, make the catch of his life, and then they even survived the Ryan Williams play.
Yeah.
They even survived Ryan Williams crunch time once again, jumping up and just gliding through the air like some sort of mythical beast, somehow keeping his feet in bounds, scored a huge touchdown, and it didn't mean anything in the end.
Well, the stats that jump out, the time of possession obviously won. If you can win that game, and we'll get to Tennessee, Arkansas, and obviously Arkansas keeping that a game because of the fact they were on the field for so long, especially in the first half. But so time of possession, check Vanderbilt, you got that done. Running the football, Alabama, their big players didn't make big plays in this game. And a lot had to do with the fact they just didn't have the ball a lot. But Jay Miller had 45 yards. Justice Hayes had 23 yards. Jalen Milroe got sacked twice, but overall only 10 yards rushing. And then Ryan Williams only had 3 catches for 82 yards. So somehow Vanderbilt, 1, managed to stay on the field offensively, and then 2, when they were on defense, didn't really let the playmakers for Alabama have the kind of night that they did a week ago versus Georgia.
Well, I mean, but that's weird though, because is that true if they put up 35 with 17 minutes? You know what I'm saying? I just think it's all a function. I'm trying to find total number of plays. How can you find number of plays? Because
24 pass attempts, 21 rush attempts. So
bro, only 45 plays. 45 That's nothing. Plays. Putting up 35 punts and 45 plays is actually really good. Yards.
No, the number, the total points are great. I'm saying the production on
the rushing and probably
the rushing numbers are not great.
The rushing is too probably a function of playing from behind, right? I mean, having to constantly Vanderbilt ran 75 plays. Vanderbilt had the ball twice the amount of time. They ran twice as many plays. That's how you were able to stop Alabama from putting up exorbitant stats. If anything, it's kind of insane that Milroe somehow ends up 18-24 for 310. Doesn't even feel like there should be enough plays for you to accumulate that sort of yardage. But again, I'm not cheating on the Vanderbilt defense. Even though the offense is the key to making all this work, but the defense also made the play when they had to have it. Yes,
they had two big turnovers. Two big turnovers.
And the strip sack was great. The strip sack, especially, you do not win those games without this. All right, then obviously,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because I mean, obviously, I was around a bunch of Georgia fans yesterday, and they were all somewhat celebrating the fact that Alabama lost, even though it's hey, they beat you a week ago, so let's still pump the brakes here a little bit.
Nah, fuck that, dude. It's super fun. Fuck that. It's awesome to make fun of other teams when they lose.
But the narrative is and was, for so long, Georgia made such a big deal of Alabama, and they still do. Trust me, the record is horrendous. We all know. We went over this last week. But Alabama's main goal all offseason was, we're here to beat Georgia. We're sick of this Georgia narrative. We're sick of Georgia. We're still Alabama. Screw Georgia. All the effort was to beat Georgia. They beat Georgia, and then they kind of coasted this next week.
I think you're being a little Georgia homer if you're going to paint Bama's entire offseason as beat Georgia. I think Bama's entire offseason
Who was
was
it
like,
last season?
let's
Who
get
was it
ready to
last season
build a
that did that?
championship under DeBoer. I
Well,
don't know, but
there
I
was
don't.
Michigan. Remember, was it Michigan
Oh
who had
yeah,
like
no,
the
Michigan,
beat Ohio State periods?
Yes, I mean
That was
straight
their
up.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up. Michigan did go all in on that, and it ended up working
Yes.
for Harbaugh. But I don't agree with that being Alabama's only goal. I think this is very simple. Obviously, the Georgia game was massive, and obviously they didn't lock in for this. They won that game. They're kind of light week of work. Just sleepy, kind of midday kickoff. You're thinking, whatever. We're in Nashville, juicing that high, like we're about to roll. You catch a couple early punches to the mouth. You're just like, okay, we'll be okay. And then you've been in these fights, Aaron. Sometimes, man, it's like it's almost like what I imagine. Have you ever been in like rough ocean and you're having fun, and then you have a moment or two where maybe you're a little scared because you realize, oh shit, I'm not actually in control here.
Nope.
Like, and so yeah, they think they're like body surfing, like, oh, look at the waves, so much fun. Oh, fuck, I'm getting dragged out. Like, and next thing you know, they realize, oh shit, we're actually not in control here. And it's just too little too late. What this proves to me, Aaron, I feel like college football is wide open. Ohio State right now, Ohio State's the only team that hasn't had a
Texas,
a major mark against them, but they've also been the least tested, right?
Texas.
Oh yeah, that's true. Texas, that's true. Texas as well, but still, I have no illusions that Texas is just going to be unbeatable when they run up against these good teams. Also, like
the Michigan win continues to look less and less attractive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And everybody, but you can play that game with everybody. So the point, my overall point is, college football feels wide open going into a 12-team playoff, and that's fucking awesome. In a weird way, it's still maybe Georgia because the only team that they lose to is Alabama, but we'll see because Georgia's got a lot of hard games on that schedule. All right, next.
Are you concerned? Last point here. Alabama's defense is a problem for them still. That is an issue. That is a major issue. Well, they're not good at stopping the pass either. They're not good at either. So
and Malachi Moore, we'll make fun of him more tomorrow when we look at the videos, but Malachi Moore looked like a child at the end of the game yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah, kicking the
football. You see him throwing tantrums and kicking the football?
Yeah.
That is, that is one of those moments where you're going to look at that and you're like, I'm very interested to see how Kalen DeBoer responds. So I know what Saban done, and that shit wouldn't fly. So I'm going to be very interested to see what DeBoer does.
This is a Vanderbilt team that beat Virginia Tech, beat Alcorn State, lost by 4 to Georgia State, then lost by 3
had an awesome
Missouri.
Comeback against Georgia State, but then blew it. Like they came all the way back to win, and then they let him score late.
And then they were beating Missouri, correct? Right? Were they leading?
They missed a field goal. They should have beaten Missouri in regulation. They missed a field goal that would have given them the dub.
You're talking about a Vandy team that's like 2 plays away from being 5-0 and beating Alabama.
No, I know look, Clark Lee, Pavia, dude, a quarterback can change everything.
Yeah.
A quarterback can really change everything. Well, I'd say that was pretty fun. Maybe had a laugh or two, potentially even learned a thing along the way. If you did enjoy it, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing, and we'll see you next time for more snaps.